The Adventures of Sodor, episode 59, Pareil. Topham Hatt had brought many replicas of the Rainhill trial engines over to the Northwestern Railway as it was the anniversary of the Rainhill trials. Well, yeah, this is basically what happened back in last year, so yeah. Anyway, Stephen was excited. He was able to see all the replicas of the engines he used to work with. His favourite out of all the replicas was Pareil. He was the only engine out of all the replicas that came that was actually alive. And the two had a great chat. Stephen participated in a reenactment of the Rainhill trials and played himself the rocket. Soon it was time for the replicas to go away. And, well, Pareil, while he was a bit more boastful than the actual Pareil that Stephen used to work with, they did have many good chats about themselves, and Pareil speaking about his experiences with the actual Pareil. "Oh, that does sound nice," said Stephen. "It is," said Pareil. "Maybe you could come over here to his, well, maybe you could head over to his, museum, and then we can all have a nice chat sometime," said the replica. "Oh, that would be nice. But I'd much rather stay at Ulstead Castle for now," said Stephen. "I understand that. You don't want to go too far away from home, especially with dieselization." "Quite right," said Stephen. "Anyways, I better go back home with the replicas. Can't be too late for being alone," said the Pareil replica. "You're too right," said Stephen. "Goodbye," said the Pareil replica, and it steamed away. "Goodbye," said Stephen. That night, at Stephen's shed at the castle, Stephen talked to the Earl about the Rainhill trial reenactment. "What is it, Stephen?" said the Earl. "You know the Pareil replica that came?" said Stephen. "Oh yes, we do, Stephen. What is it about it?" said the Earl. "Well, could we get the real Pareil to Sodor? It would make a great tourist attraction." "Oh, it would, Stephen. We'll have to see what we can do. If I highly doubt he could come, but if he could, that would be amazing. Isn't that right, Stephen?" "It would be, sir," said Stephen. "I'll see what means the Topham Hatt and the other railway controllers can do. I think all of us may need to work together on this one. It's not a thing that it seems like it's only not one thing one controller or person can do." "Quite right, sir," said Stephen. And Sir Robert Normanby the Earl walked away. So that night, the Earl, Sir Topham Hatt, and all the controllers on Sodor all gathered up to talk about getting Pareil over to Sodor. Arthur was steaming back from Vicarstown. He had just finished off putting the train there, and he was steaming back to his fishing village when he came up to Knapford, and the Earl told him to stop. "What is it, sir?" said Arthur. "You are just the engine for the job, Arthur," said the Earl. "For what job?" said Arthur. "Well, you are big and strong, aren't you?" said the Earl. "Yes." "Then I'd like you to head over to England with a flatbed and come back with..." The Earl told Arthur all about it, and he was amazed and very excited. "Yes, sir, I will," said Arthur. "That's a good engine. Now carry on. We've got to make Stephen happy, and this will make a great tourist attraction." and the Earl walked away, back into Sir Topham Hatt's office. Arthur was excited and he raced off to the mainland to collect his special. Stephen was getting fired up for the day when he heard a whistle. "That's Arthur, what's he doing here?" said Stephen. Just then he saw Arthur pulling in and then pushing an engine on a flatbed that he had not seen for a long time. He barely even recognised the engine. Arthur uncoupled and let the engines chat. "Have a nice chat, you two," said Arthur, and he steamed off. "Got to get to my village, can't be late." And he steamed off. "I can't believe it. You're still around," unmatched. "It's still some Pareil, you know." "I know, but it's French for your name." "Still really weird how your name is spelled sans Pareil and it's pronounced some Pareil, but still, you're still around even after all these years." "I know," said Somperay. "How about we go to a siding and have a nice little chat, eh?" said Somperay. "Oh yes," said Stephen. "You've changed a lot though, Rocket. I'm called Stephen now. Anyways, let's get you to a siding and get you off your flatbed, shall we?" said Stephen. "Oh yes," said Somperay, and they steamed off to a siding. They went to a far place back in the castle, and the two had a nice chat. Even more of a chat about the Rainhill trials, as that's where they worked the most. "So, and then I remember you having your boiler leak." "Yes, I do too. And you had to be repaired, but you got disqualified." "I know," said Somperay. "Those were good times, even if it was me always breaking down along with Novelty and the Preserver and Stridge. Never really ran that well. He only went 6 miles per hour on his run, didn't he?" "Yes, too bad he got disqualified. He could have been a great contestant." "Yes, he could have been a slow engine but a strong one, but then they were testing. But then the judges were inspecting speed and fuel consumption. And then I always had too much fuel consumption." "Yes, you're quite right there, but it does not really matter that much now. You're retired, and we're all happy on this railway." "You're right, but you can barely see me. I'm completely black." "I can see that." "And that's where I come in," said the Earl, as he walked up. "I had Arthur go over to the mainland a couple of days ago to come over and get some Pareil here, just for you, Stephen." "Oh, thank you," said Stephen. "Yes, and I'd like to thank you for bringing me over to Rocket. You do know I've been renamed to Stephen Somperay because my builder was named Stevenson, if you remember, and the Earl gave me the nickname Stephen, mainly because the engine. If the engine still called me Rocket, they might have found the name a little bit weird. And plus, I do prefer Stephen. It's more like a title than anything, Rocket. But I still like being called it, and I still like being called Somperay." "Of course you do," said Stephen. "Okay, you two. Stephen, you'll be doing your normal jobs as usual, but you will be dropping off your jobs every now and then by helping getting Somperay back to his former glory." "Wait, I'm being put back in service," said Somperay. "Not exactly, Somperay, but you are being put on display at this castle," said the Duke. As I said to the Earl. "Oh, that will be nice," said Somperay. "It will. So come on, we'll also have your replica tender made, which We also had a replica tender made for Steven here since we couldn't get his old one. But yes, let's get over to work, shall we? Yes sir, they both said. And Steven seemed off to do his trains. Soon, some Pareil in a couple weeks was finally repaired. He was put on display at the front of the main station in the castle. He was put at the front of the castle as the main tourist attraction that was static there. While Steven was still the biggest tourist attraction there, Pareil was the close second. While Green Millie and the other engines would joke about them being twins despite them not looking too much alike, they still did all have a good time. And Pareil, he did enjoy his new life as a new static model and being returned to his former glory. However, Rocket has said to Pareil that he would like him to be put back into service so they can do reenactments of the Rainhill trials every single year. Hello YouTube, Great RJ1 here. So this was the 59th episode of the Adventures of Sodor, and if you didn't actually notice already, the games actually did switch. You might have noticed that by Pareil's appearance changing and Steven no longer having a face, but this is actually the game used to record the mid-Sodor episodes in. So yeah, this is mainly just a quick thing I did. I know this is meant to be like the gates to the drawbridge. I know it doesn't have 2 tracks, but it's meant to be extremely simple, and yeah, it's not meant to be, it's just meant to be simple to give off its effect. But yeah, this is how Pareil would have looked like in real life on the Rainhill trials. I'm pretty sure I still have to cover up that part of the tender. So yeah, and a little bit of a fun fact: the people that would drive Pareil would have driven him from the smoke box without on this like wooden plank here. They would have driven him there, not at the firebox, not at the back of the locomotive. But I will say the thing that does really bother me about Pareil is how the engine looks backwards. It looks like it should be the other way around, even though it's the right way around. It looks a bit weird, and the side rods look even weirder with that kind of side rods look. It just makes it seem like, how's that even possible and working? But yeah, I think this was a nice little episode. We had Steven's backstory last episode. Steven appeared in the last video as being called the Rocket at that point, and he's reappeared again. So he's been in 3 videos in a row already. So yeah, so Rocket and Pareil, they might not appear as much now, but they will have probably many more appearances to come. I know Pareil looks not much like Steven, but I mainly just used Steven's model when I was not in this game, mainly because it was the closest to Pareil. Like, there's not really any other engine in the games that look like Pareil apart from Steven himself. So yeah, I had to use Steven as Pareil because he looks the closest to Pareil. Like, if you do a side-by-side comparison, then they basically look extremely similar. But yeah, do expect to see more of Pareil and Steven. And yeah, I have been having a big fascination with Steven, Pareil and the Rainhill trials and the Rainhill trial engines recently, so do expect to see more things about the Rainhill trials, and it has got me thinking on doing a series about the Rainhill trials. Maybe have like the Rocket, Pareil, Novelty, and the Cyclopede, and all the engines that competed in it in a small mini series. That it probably won't last that long because the Rainhill trials only went on for 9 days, So it won't be like a big, long running series. It'll be like a minor series. I would plan to record it in the Game for the Made Sodor episodes though, because those still have the mod. Because I am currently making the models for the Rain Hill engines. That's what I'm just going to call them when they're basically in the group. So yeah. So do expect to see more of Stephen and Pareil in the series. So yeah. So I know Pareil did not have a big role in this episode, but still, it's the best I can really do. It's not meant to be much of a. It's not already much of a character, and it would be a bit hard to make him a bit of a character in the episode this was. So he does have a character, and he is a character. He's just not quite a big character yet. And a little bit of a fun fact: the tracks literally end here. The wall blocks off the tracks, and so does this fake gateway. But then it was all blocked off. So yeah. Anyways, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.